Brothers, in this video, we're going to be testing the College Football 26 patch and just kind of going over some basic things in terms of some of the improvements that they, claim to have made to the game. I'll be pulling up the web article and we can kind of test this little patch together here in this video. Now, real quick, as this is kind of downloading, I did just want to let you guys know that if you're looking to get better at this game, I have something free for you guys that I think is going to help a lot of people get better. It's something that I wish I would have had when I was getting started. It's a free school community, and the cool part about the free school community is not only are you going to get exclusive tips, tricks, and mini schemes within that free community, but you also are going to get a community of other members that are trying to get better at the game as well. We have a ton of free content over there. So if you want to sign up for that, again, it's completely free to you. I'll put a link to that in the description of this video and would love to get you guys into our free community. I think it's really a great spot if you're looking to kind of start your journey to becoming a better college football, or we're also going to do content in there for Madden. It's a great place to start. And again, it's completely free to you guys. So if you want to sign up for that, I'll put a link to that down in the description. That being said, I'm going to go over just the basics. Let me actually pull up the patch notes while we're waiting on this and kind of just talk through that. I'm going to go full screen here on my computer and let me just make sure I have the right thing set up. There we go. So here is kind of the news here as we're kind of installing this. So it says, hey there, college football fans. Welcome back to the Campus Huddle, your source for all information. We're kicking off our first title update, Campus Huddle. And basically, you want to just get right into this. Obviously, I'm not really a dynasty guy. So we're going to be primarily focusing here on the gameplay changes. And it says right here, fix an issue where playout remained visible after the snap when using home field advantage. Hopefully that just means they fixed the play art bugs. Fix a rare issue causing a player to freeze in place during hit stick attempts. Doesn't seem like that. I don't know if that was really it. This one's the big one that I actually wanted to test here, and we will be going into a game and testing all the blitzes like momentarily. I'm gonna get that set up right now, but it says fixed an issue preventing stunts and twists from activating properly when selecting from the play call menu in online games. So what basically the issue was is there was an option within the games, which was awesome. You could actually select the stunts that you wanted to use in the pre-play, so you didn't have to make a quick adjustment. Like that was super helpful, or like intentionally, like that's really cool, right? But what happened is those would not register when you were going on a line. So stunts, in my opinion, are one of the best ways to play defense right now in the game. And I'm actually going to be going over in this video my favorite ones for you as we're kind of test these out together. So anyways, we'll take a look at that. That's probably going to be the first thing we look at here in just a minute. It says fixed an issue preventing wide receiver catch animation from playing when clicking on taking control of the wide receiver. I don't know for sure what this is amounting to. I do know that there's a really, really wild way to aggressive catch in the game right now, and that probably doesn't seem like they fixed that at all. It also said variety of tuning improvements, which the thing with that is it's kind of a catch-all thing where you don't actually really know like what that even means. And then the last one is the Power O. Now I do have the game loaded up and updated, so I wanted to just get right into this with you guys. We're going to go through like just some of the core things that I think, we just want to simply test with you. These are just things that I'm looking at any new patch. You always kind of want to go into a play now game, 15-minute quarters, no play clock. And the reason why is because now we're able to test primarily the thing that I personally care about the most patch to patch is really just blocking in zones. Like, did they change any of the blitz concepts? Are the zones still basically the same, right? Those are kind of some of the main things that I'm personally looking at. We're going to first and foremost test this stunt thing because this is a huge change if they actually fix this. So if you guys didn't know, the best stunt in the game is could be out of different variations, but it's the Texas four-man stunt. So I'm just going to go through, and I'm actually going to do it out of double mug here. So what you were able to do here is you could come out in like Tampa 2, but here's the trick. You're going to hold down the icon of the play that you want, and then you can select the stunt. So I'm going to hold triangle here, and then I'm going to go down to the stunt that I want, which is the Texas 4-man stunt, and then we're just going to select that. Then what we should see here is this should flip this. Now, something weird happened with the linebackers there, but it does look like this is registering. So we're just going to test this. Again, I'm literally not going to hold anything on my controller. We're just seeing if the stunts are registering. And you see here that the stunts are registering, which is awesome because it's going to make your adjustments are always one of the most difficult things to do on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, especially even in this game. There's like a little bit of a button delay. And so you see there, the stunts are working properly. We'll do it one more time just for good measure, and I'll actually do it out of a different formation, dime rush, which I just dropped a full mini scheme of dime rush in our free school community. This defense is honestly a lot of fun. I think it's a really good defense because it really optimizes for switch stick, which is the most important feature in the game by far for defense. So anyways, Tampa 2, and we're going to just test this. We're going to do a Texas 4-man stunt because Texas 4-man stunt is the best stunt in the game. And actually, let's just try this. So we see here it does register, and I'm going to actually flip the play. I totally forgot to do that. You see here that when you flip the play, it does reset, which is unfortunate. I actually need to call timeout. One other thing that I wanted to, another thing, which we won't know this unless you're playing like full games, is this cornerback matchups and your coach adjustments. This would sometimes just randomly be on speed. I think it was primarily on like third down or fourth down, which is obviously terrible because if you're in zone and it does that and you don't want it to, like that's terrible. So anyways, another little bug in the game, in my opinion, was the safety alignment stuff. So what you could do is when I'd come out in this play, what I would want to do is I would want to flip it. So I come out in Texas 4-man stunt. I would want to flip the play. You see, I would have to reset my stunt. And it does look like the safety thing is still in the game where it kind of backs them back up. So that's unfortunate. But that being said, let's just test the stunt. And we see there that this stunt is still amazing. So Texas 4-man stunt is still probably by far the best stunt in the game from what we see. Now just going to test kind of some other blitzes that I know about. We'll test this 3-3-5, 3 high odd, and just kind of see some of the general, like, did they change blocking that much? It doesn't appear like they did, but we're just going to test this real quick from just some basic blitzes. This is cover 6 Willie. Just literally pinch your D-line, put your controller down, and just watch this guy walk in. He didn't walk in there. Okay, cool. Doesn't to me. So loop blitzes, which loop blitzes, honestly, I wish loop blitzes were better than they were, than they are, because loop blitzes are great because it creates like, the reason I like loop blitzes over some of the other types of blitzes that are in this game right now is loop blitzes kind of create a pretty decent, like, you're not going to get crazy pressure, but you're going to get good enough pressure. And you'll see, like, it's a lot cleaner of style of game if loop blitzes are good. You see here, this guy's not really coming in consistently. So this, I'm not doing anything too crazy, but it does look like they've improved the targeting on loop blitzes just from a basic, basic look here, because you see how that guard's kind of really targeting that guy. Another thing that was really wrong, in my opinion, but I don't think that they've changed it, is just the pass protections. The stock pass protections were kind of buggy, but I do think they still have those. I'm going to test the dollar blitz. So if you didn't know the dollar blitz that you would use, this is one of my favorites of all time. Because again, it's not complicated, but it's really good. You would just come out in SS Zone Blitz, and if you wanted to, you could audible to it as well. So we'll just do that here. So we'll just put SS Zone Blitz in our audibles, come out on double safety, audible to it, and then you would just walk this guy over, and you see how it creates kind of that crossfire. So another thing I don't like is the corner being over there, but anyways. So now I'm going to kind of maybe add a little bit of a hover, and we'll just see. And you see that loop did look really good, actually. That looked really good for the most part. He went a little wider than you would want, but it does seem like loop blitzing has been slightly changed a little bit. Okay, so the A gap style of loop blitzing is a little bit different, just from what it seems like here. Obviously, you have to test a little bit more, but in general, now I want to try it on 326 odd just to see, kind of how this plays out. Let's see if I have this strong safety one. So the strong safety one has kind of a unique blitz angle that I think makes it really good. And then let's see, whatever this guy. Let's just get this guy on a zone. Proving to be harder than it should be. But anyway, now I'm going to just kind of stand like over here just to kind of see how this works. And you see that it's okay. Like you can kind of see, okay, there's potential for loop blitzes to be back now after this patch, a little bit more consistent than they were pre-patch. Pre-patch, these loops were pretty inconsistent. Like they were good, but they weren't really great. And I honestly think like the thing about making dollar good or like usable, having a usable blitz out of dollar, is it allows you to just play coverage a little bit better, and it really allows you to maximize your switch stick. So we'll see if we can get this. You see there, he's picking it up. So, okay, we'll kind of lay off of that one for now. For the most part, it appears like while loop blitzing is a little bit better, I don't know that it's necessarily wholesale better. Let's go through some other blitzes. This one out of 335, 3 high odd. This is slant blitz. Basically, all you have to do to set this blitz up is just move this guy just a little bit to the inside, and then you would stand kind of in this area, and you see this is still pretty good. Okay, so it does, one of the things that I'm noticing as we're kind of looking at this, I feel like just generally speaking, the blitzes are a little better. Like you can just kind of tell they're coming in a little cleaner than they were pre-patch. Let's go into everybody's favorite defense, double mug, and we'll just test this real quick. So first and foremost, the Texas two-man stunt. Let's just test that, see how that does. And yep, you see that's still very viable, as you can see. So that Texas two-man stunt is still very viable out of the double mug, and then we'll get into, let's take a look at this 2 or 3-3 double mug again. The other thing that I want to kind of look at is, what about the send 4 with no stunt? So you could send 4 like this. Sometimes this would come in. Let's just see if it does. For the most part, it looks like they do pretty decent there. They're kind of wide. But the thing is, when they widen out, that obviously should leave open some good pressure here that we can get. I'm just going to send 5 this time. So I'm just going to drop one of these linebackers out and just kind of see how this goes. And you see there, we're getting a gap. This is what's concerning me, is it appears like they've, in an effort to try to block the edge pressures, it appears like double mug can get really good interior pressure. I'm going to pinch. We'll just test this little 4-man here. So I did a pinch, slant inside, and then I'm at a 4-man. Let's just see what happens. And I mean, that's pretty decent. That's fine. That's fine blocking. So again, you're just kind of seeing, the process of testing a patch, at least blitzes wise. You're just kind of testing, did they change a lot of what we were already doing, right? That's one of the big questions. So right here, I'm going to send 6, and I'm going to block a running back. I'm not going to engage. I'm just going to be down here, and we'll just see. You see how the blitz is wanting to come through the middle, though? But it does block it, right? At face value, it definitely blocks the double mug. 6-man. So now what you want to do is we're going to add a little bit more of an engage. So now I'm going to take this defensive end on the right side, put him in a zone, put this guy on the. So we're going to send 4, but we're going to send it off the edge. And I'm actually going to engage my user in the line of scrimmage and then try to click off. You see this 4-man is screaming. Okay. So, again, just kind of important to realize that, what was so good about this was the engage really is what makes it good, because if they block their running back and let's say they untarget your user, which is kind of the thing that most people want to do, if you're engaged right here, you'll basically get a user rush like that right there. The running back actually didn't block, but anyway. So those are some of the basics of like double mug. Let me actually do it one more time here. I'm going to base protect. Or I think I might have. Maybe I blocked my tight end there and I didn't mean to. Oh, I forgot stadium pulses. Okay, that's the issue. That's the issue. Stadium pulse. I should have known better. My stadium pulse is still in the game, and stadium pulse is still really good. All right, so we'll test some other defenses here real quick. I really like this 3-3 mint. This is probably my personal favorite defense in the game. Well, one of them. So let's just test these loops here. So they got two different style of loops. One's an A gap, one's a B gap. So we'll just test this one on the right and just kind of see. And you see they pinch in really well. So it appears to me that like A gap loops are definitely not, from what I can see right here, not like amazing. We'll test this B gap loop now and just see just kind of how it goes. Now you see the B gap looked a little more promising, but still, looks like pretty good pickups for loop blitzes. This little defense right here, 3-4 tight, this actually is my favorite because it has really good edge pressure, or it has a really good 5-man blitz. So let's do that one. Let me put this quick jump over here. Where's he at? Mr. Cole. And auto flip off, defense motion response disabled. And this is hot blitz. So you just flip it. Literally, you should just be able to stand here. And this 5-man should scream. And it does really nice, really clean. Now here's my theory, and well, this is like the power of hopefully watching this video with us and getting some live labbing in. My theory is you can send 4. We'll see if this works. Yeah, you see how the guard kind of fans out wider. This to me is the new hotness out of this. And again, I actually have a full ebook on 3-4 tight, but what I think makes it really good is if you watch the guard on the right, he's gonna fan out to the wide side. And we're back, boys. We're back. Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. We might have to just end the video there. That's a good one. If you stuck around, you saw some sauce. Yeah, it's a 4-man, man. You're not even doing anything. Now I will add base protection. This will probably pick it up, but against empty protection, the guard really shoots wide. Let's see base protection, same thing, and we scream again. So there you go. That's the best blitz in the game. We just found it messing around. So here's the big like takeaway from like what they patched. In my opinion, they did do something to offensive line logic, which they seem to always do every year. The big thing that I think they did is they essentially got that guard to shoot out a little bit more to the wide on the right side. So now my theory is let's see if we can get it out of this, out of dollar. Because if you can get it out of dollar, it's a really good blitz concept. I don't know if you can. Let's just see. You see here, okay, we're not able to get it. And, there could be some reasoning for that. Could be the alignment of the linebacker, just different things like that. But in general, let's just, let's see here. Let's try this SS zone blitz. And let's actually pinch the D-line. Now you got me kind of like just curious. And this is an old school A-gap, but no, that plays pretty good. Okay. So it doesn't look like you can really do this same idea out of dollar like I would want to. The only other thing I was going to see is like one of the other like just super like big labbing tips for anyone. If you really are wanting to lab at a high level, in my opinion, one of the best things you can do is test every blitz that's ever worked. Literally ever worked. Test every blitz setup that's ever worked in any game ever. So this is the old B gap out of dollar. Let's do a slant right, contain like that. Let's see if we can get this B gap. And not really very good. And you can tell pretty quickly, if it doesn't come in against 5 out, you got, you kind of start there and then you kind of work through things. So we saw right there that slant to the right side didn't really work. So now we'll try one little other thing. We're just going to leave this like stock blitz angle here. And we'll just try this, and then we'll kind of wrap up with the blitzing aspects. You see, yeah, it kind of goes too wide, and then you don't want that. So in general, it looks like loop blitzes not as good. Just for fun, boys, I just want to see this one more time. I don't know if this is 100% consistent. We literally just tested this, but let's just try it. Let's just flip, zone, zone. I'm gonna, you know what? Just stand out here. Why not? Watch him just scream. Oh my gosh, this blitz is so good. We literally just found the best blitz in the game. And again, I'm not doing anything, but if it comes in like that against 5 out, guys, there is definitely something to this blitz concept. And I showed it against base protection. So, like you saw that. Now, so what I bet they have to do is they have to slide right, which when they slide right, that should open up the left side pressure. The other style of blitzing here is if I slant my line to the right, you'll see we get a loop. Let's just test that loop. You see that loop's not as good. So that's crazy. It's a really good blitz, man. That's a really good Sin 4. And then the thing is, with it, the Sin 5 is super consistent. So, like, if you ever need to guarantee pressure, you can just send 5 like this. And, it actually blocked it better when we sent 5. That's crazy. But anyway, that's so 3-4 tight's looking pretty good. Let's see here. What other defenses? It's really not a lot of other things. Let's test. One other thing I want to test is 3-3-5 mint. This defense has some stuff. So let's take a look at. We looked at Crossfire. Let's take a look at the Hot Blitz Bail. I believe. Do I not have that in here? Do I really not have Hot Blitz Bail? It's probably because we're in the Georgia playbook. Oh, it's definitely because we're in the Georgia playbook. All right, so we'll just run it like this. We'll just flip it. So you see how kind of same idea, right? Same idea to a degree. But I don't think it's going to work right. Yeah, you see the guard he picks it up really well. There's a couple other blitzes out of 3-5 mint, but none of them are like, like super powerful. Really, the powerful blitzes, honestly, was double mug, and you saw that they definitely made some changes, but double mug for the most part still comes in. I think the biggest thing that they changed, just in terms of the double mug, is this 4-man right here seems to not be as good. You see how the guards are kind of widening out. That's what we're noticing post patch is that these guards are kind of widening out a little bit more to try to defend these edge rushers, which is probably an attempt on on EA's side to ghost patch mid blitz. That being said, what's funny is that should open up our Texas 4-man stunt even more. So let me just it doesn't really matter where you use her, but let's just see. Yeah, and you see, I mean, this is the Texas 4-man is really good still. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any of the other things I really wanted to show or test. We'll do 3-4 odd. I did like 3-4 odd pre-patch. So 3-4 odd, you're just going to run this pinch play. And the idea should be here that if they send 5 out, we should get pretty clean pressure. But again, this will kind of test that widening out of the defensive end. You see that we're trying. We see how. So you see that guard is slipping out. That is a huge change. Like it's a very subtle thing, but I think it's actually pretty big. Let's check Penny. Good old reliable 3-3-5 Penny. You just send 5 and call it good. And you see how the send 5 from Penny's not as good because they're widening out like that. But what that does, which I'll give you a little. Well, I don't have it in here actually. Trying to think how else would you run Penny? The only other way to run Penny is like loop this guy like this, which we saw this some pre-patch. Yeah, it's still pretty decent. I'm just trying to think. Really, that's the main one is just the double mug. We could test 6-1, but I don't think there's nothing crazy you really want to look at out of 6-1. Let's see here. little 3-3-5 split. So my theory is you might be able to get some like B gap. Let me flip the play, slant my line inside, move this guy. This will be my user. I don't know how this would play, but yep. Yeah, you see. So the guards are kind of a little bit more easily manipulated, I would say, post patch. Just a lot of different reasons why that's the case. 2-4 single mug. The 2-4 load mug, we can look at this. This was a blitz defense I liked. I actually like this. This is very similar to 6-1. So you just pinch your D line, or I'm sorry, you shift your D line to the right, slant inside. And what you should see here is us to be able to pop free this right side pressure. Not as good. Probably got to hover a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I just think the biggest thing I've noticed so far is the guards. The guards kind of move out a lot wider, which in theory should open up like. Let's go test this one again. It's always important just to test the blitzes, right? Free safety zone blitz. Let's just see it. We would pinch, kind of stand like right in here. Watch that guard fan out. Nope, he plays it pretty good. Yeah. So anyway, for the most part, not much has changed. I would say. I think there's still some. We're still gonna have to obviously test, blitzes and things like that. But for the most part, I wouldn't say, anything crazy has changed from a blitzing perspective. They did fix the stunt thing, which I think is really important. It's just a good thing that they fixed that. 3-4 odd, block running back, should be able to trigger this pressure. I think you're going to want to be more A gap with your hover here. No, you're not going to want to be more A gap. Yeah, the guards really fan out like super wide now. That's the biggest change to me. Is these guards, so like in theory you should be able to pinch, maybe hover kind of more guard like. Block this running back and we'll just see. Yeah, there you go. There's pressure. The Stadium Pulse is not allowing me to block anybody, which is awesome. Let me just pick a play with the running back blocked. The other thing about running back block is when you have a play that has the running back blocking, normally that's going to make it a base pass protection, which obviously the base pass protection is like the best, really just the best base pass protection, right? It's the best protection that you can get. Let's get flood. And let's go 3-4 odd. So in theory, this should come in, and this is going to be base pass pro. Yeah, you see, we're still able to trigger that. So 6-man blitzes really aren't a whole lot different. The engage is still pretty good out of double mug from what you can see here. The untarget's going to allow for a user rush, obviously, which is totally like how they intended it. I bet you this bubble's still really good. I'm not even going to really look at that. I don't think that's really necessary. 3-3-5 mint. Got auto flip off here. One other defense. Let's see. Actually, I don't have it in here. The only other one I was trying to look at. Let's just look at double mug one more time. So let's go auto flip on. Let's go mid blitz. So let's just see if when they block a running back, this should pop the right side guy free. And it pops somebody free. Not the right side guy, but pops somebody free. So mid blitz is for the most part, man, Bobo is down. For the most part, it looks like blitzing really didn't change a whole lot. I just think the guards kind of slide out a little wider, which ultimately is like, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that it means that this is crazy. And obviously, if they like slide or something, I'm sure they can block it. But this 4-man blitz is pretty good. See there, they block it if they block a running back. But if they don't, right? And really, I mean, Yeah. Most part, blocking really hasn't changed a whole lot. I just think the guards widen out a little bit more, so it leaves the opportunity for something like this to be pretty good. There you see get a DT randomly. So I do think that this is the defense that I have um, in our school community out, and I do think this is still going to be really good. I still think double mug is still good. I still think the dime rush, like what makes dime rush really good. I'll show you real quick. So like, if you flip it and go dime blitz 2, all you got to do is that Texas 4-man stunt, and that's pretty much it. And it should come in against blocked running back. A lot of times it does. Didn't right there, but anyway, so that's blitzing. At least some of the changes to blitzing. Only other thing really that I was really interested in was did the stunts work in game, and they did activate properly. For the most part, the only other thing was the play art bug. They talked about again a lot of stability improvements. It's hard to really know what that means. You kind of just go through your checklist of like all these things worked before the patch. Do they work after the patch? But in general, these are kind of some of the other. The only other thing we really can test is like one play touchdowns. So I mean, we'll just do that real quick. So like bunch strong corner strike, and we'll go. Where's the cover 3 at? Let's see. Do I have it in here? Just basic cover 3. We'll do that. So the only other thing too, of course, is you're going to have to get the ball to a hash mark. And we'll test. Oh, awesome. That's just so that's still in the game. So if you guys didn't know, um, when you audible late in the play clock, which is weird because I don't have a play clock on, but when you audible in the play clock, then you get that false start bug. So that is still 100% in the game. I don't know why they've chosen to leave that in the game for like over a year. I think it's probably because of Stadium Pulse, but it really is one of the worst things, in my opinion, in the game. Now, again, because we're just testing coverages, I'm spying everybody. Um, and then let's just see. Of course, I'm not going to be able to hot route. It actually is letting me. So we stemmed up the slot fade. We'll just see. You see that outside third does still bite like he did before. I just threw a absolute missile with revamped. That's why you should never use revamped passing. We'll actually set these settings while we're here just to show you. So revamped passing is terrible. I don't know why I'm on varsity. Oh, that's sad. Well, that might explain some things. um, revamped passing. You want this on placement accuracy and pass it increase 3. All right. So the only thing I do, I mean, I'm kind of curious now. Of course, we weren't on the other one. I know is on Heisman, but let's just real quick. Let's just check that's cover 6 Willie Blitz that wasn't really working right, and just see if the game mode maybe change that. And you see, no, still blocking pretty much the same. So I don't think the block. I don't think that. I don't think being on like varsity really changed a whole lot there. It might have, but I don't think it did. And then it's at the end of the first. I want to test one of their blitz because I didn't realize I was on varsity, and I actually had revamped on. It goes to show 2 controllers. There's always something, man. I wonder if you can. This is like something I just don't know, mainly just because I've never really looked at it. But I wonder if there's a way to turn. I'm sure there is got to be a way to turn off Stadium Pulse in this mode. Really, the only blitz we tested here was 335 high odd, which we showed that it didn't really change much. 3-4 odd is not. It's not going to change anything, so that's cool. So we'll just leave that there, and then we'll just go over. We'll do cover 3 here. Just see. Hopefully, I can get this hot route off. Oh, awesome! Yeah. All right, I'm gonna punt. I'm just gonna punt it back. Let me know what you guys think of this. I first time I've ever done this, just live tested a patch, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting, and just to see, what's all changed. And again, this is a very small sample size of what testing we have to do today, but this is kind of the process, right? You kind of want to do your testing. Um, if you can do it in game, it's just better in game. All right, I don't have Stadium Pulse on this side, so this should be a lot better. And just for good measure, I want to test this because maybe that was working better because of varsity. Of course, my D line messed up. So this might not come in anyway. Let's just see it. Nope, you see it's still good. Okay. So it doesn't look like, honestly, the game level really changes the blocking. It probably, honestly, is just a threshold thing. When you play on, like, varsity versus Heisman, I feel like it's more of, like, just a threshold. Like, the thresholds you need are different based on those game modes. But anyway. So let's test this cover 3 beater, and then we'll kind of chill out. So, slot fade. We'll stem him up twice. And you'll see here. So outside third, it stays with him if you stem up twice. And then we'll stem him up 3 times just to see one. Or no, we'll stem him up twice. We stemmed him up once, actually. So this is twice. Oh, what a throw. Looks like the inaccurates are still in the game. So a stem up twice doesn't really break cover 3. Cover 3, by the way, it will pop cover 4, I'm sure. It doesn't really look like they changed zone that much, is all I'm trying to say. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3. We'll see that. And that time you saw he bit. I just got a terrible throw. But he did bite. So cover 3 beaters pretty much stayed the same. So coverage generally stayed the same. This one's just fun, just for me. Go to cover 2. I'm going to shade underneath. And I just want to see if this if this will defend this this flat to the right. So, oh my gosh, this this is like why Stadium Pulse is just not great in my opinion. Like the Stadium Pulse thing just drives me kind of nuts. Let's just pick like Y-Sail. Yeah, Y-Sail here. So I'm gonna shade down so I have hard flats. I just want to see pre-patch this hard flat really wouldn't guard a flat route. No, he does bite down more. So it does look like the zone's got something. I don't know exactly what, but it does look like there's a slight change to zones. I just don't know for sure what. Let's just test this cloud on the left. Just kind of see. So there's a cloud flat. You see, yeah. So for the most, it basically just looks like they changed. They changed a little bit with the zones. That probably made cover. They just tuned the flat zones to play. Like the biggest thing is the hard flat zone has to play the hard flat. Like that's the biggest thing. So which wasn't really happening before, and you could just abuse flat routes. So we'll just see here. He plays it pretty good now. The only other thing I wanted to, I do want to test this actually. Now that I think about it, there's 2 other things. I want to show the flip glitch with the routes. I forgot about that one. And then I want to show this. This is a cover 2 shaded down against the bubble. I want to see this bubble. And this bubble is still good. It does look like they react a little better. Again, I think these are all things that are like making sense of the general tuning. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you, and then we will let you get out of here. Obviously, you can get out of here whenever you want, but last thing I really want to show you is this. So when you flip, what you could do, which is actually kind of a cool tip. So you could put when you flip, you could put them on different routes. So based on where they're at. So like when the slot receiver crosses the guard, he's a running back in terms of the game. And so you could put him on a running back flat. So you say I could put my running back on a flat. That's crazy to me. Like that's gotta stop. Like this is wild to me. I'm the home team. I'm the home team. I think it's because I don't have a play clock on, but that's just crazy to me. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip, and we're gonna put the running back or this guy, and you see that is still in the game. 100% still in the game. So you can still change your hot routes, as you want. This is really cool, and I'll give you a little something here. So this one of the things that is really cool about this is, let's say they're running like a double mug, or you're playing somebody and they're playing like a heavier blitz, right? But you're in a formation that's not like bunch. So let's say it's like bunch spread, where you can't block your tight end. Well, in bunch spread, you'll notice that when I flip, if I block the tight end when he crosses the line of scrimmage, it'll block him. So I'm going to flip. I'm going to block my tight end. You see, it blocks him. Now, I don't know if it's going to block this blitz. And there you go again with the play art or the false start craziness. You can't make up that false start craziness. But the point is just to say, when they cross, you still have all of the flip. The flip glitch is still relevant. That's all I was trying to show. Let's just see if he blocks this blitz. He actually kind of blocks it. You have to kind of roll out, but anyway. So that's pretty much it. Looks like everything else, for the most part, still the same. The biggest change is probably what they did with the guards, where they kind of pop out a little bit more. And then the bigger one is this. This is huge. Like, now what I can do at my I can just be so set up, so optimized. Like this is, to me, is the best base defense in the game. You want something that's going to be good against pretty much everything. You go to dime rush, cover four quarters, hold triangle down, or if you're on Xbox, it'll be Y. Go all the way down to the Texas 4-man stunt, and then select that, and you're just good to go. You can shade underneath, and this this just became a really nice defense, because as you see, you get great sheds. They have to block somebody, and there you go. So those are the basics for the patch, and just kind of some free testing. Just wanted to show you how I test the game, and hopefully you got some cool stuff out of the video.